In this video, I will be attempting a challenge run that I like to call Solo Strikers. Basically, I'll try to beat the victory road of Pokemon Scarlet while only using one Pokemon per battle. But to be more specific, this challenge only applies to the Gym Leaders, Elite Four, and Champion. This does not include any of the gym trainers or any of the Nemona fights except for the last one in Mesagoza. And if I use a Pokemon in one battle, then I won't be allowed to use it ever again. This isn't a Nuzlocke in any way, shape, or form, but I will have a level cap for every fight. And to top it all off, Terrestrializing is banned for the entire challenge. I will be using one of the starters, but I'm not saying which one I picked, so you'll have to see later in the video. Let's start off with the first gym leader, Katie. The Pokemon I chose to sweep her with was Flamigo. Thanks to the Scarlet and Violet speedrunning community, I knew Flamigo was a perfect early game choice due to its high attack and speed. Katie starts out with Nimble, but Migi one-shots it with Wing Attack. Next is Tarantula, but Migi outspeeds and one-shots it too with Wing Attack. Last is Terrabug Teddiursa, who actually lives a Wing Attack and strikes back with the Fury Swipes that takes over half my health somehow. But one last Wing Attack takes it out and we win our first badge. Now for the Brassius gym battle, I had to make an exception with the level cap. The Pokemon I wanted to use for this gym was Lucario, and although it was possible to find the Riolu under the level cap, the one I found was already over the level cap and they take forever to spawn, so I just kept the one that I found and evolved it. Brassius leads with Petalil. Aura uses Work Up to boost his offensive stats, then Petalil uses Mega Drain that barely does any damage. Aura then proceeds to one-shot it. Next up is the most adorable Gen 9 Pokemon, Smoliv, and it gets O-Code as well. Brassius' last Pokemon is his Terragrass Sudowoodo, which is like a living pun. Aura outspeeds and uses Aerial Ace, which does over half, while Sudowoodo uses a Now Stab Trailblaze that does little damage. Despite the speed boost it just got, the Sudowoodo still gets outsped by Aura and uses another Aerial Ace, which knocks out the Sudowoodo, so the match is ours. The third gym battle is against Iono, and the Pokemon I chose was Clodsire. Look, I know most people love this thing, but to be honest, I hate it with a passion. Mostly due to the Clodsire I battled on Pokemon Showdown. Is it Underwear or is it Water Absorb? I don't know. But either way, you're still getting Toxic Stalled. The streamer girl sends out Wattrel first. It outspeeds and uses Pluck. Choco uses Poison Jab, which takes the Wattrel under half and poisons it. After taking another Pluck, Choco puts the bird down with another Poison Jab. Next, she sends out Bellybolt, and this part is pretty funny. My Clodsire is a ground type with the ability Water Absorb, and since its Bellybolt can only use electric and water moves, it cannot damage Choco at all, but it can heal us with Water Gun. So while the Bellybolt embarrasses himself, I use Amnesia 3 times to max out my special defense and spam Poison Jab to take it out. Her Luxio is out now, so after my attack stat drops due to Intimidate, I use Poison Jab 3 more times to take it out with some help from Poison status. Last out is her iconic Terra Electric Levitate Mismagius. It of course outspeeds and uses Hex, but since I maxed out my special defense with Amnesia, the move does Igglybuff damage. Choco retaliates with a Yawn so we can put the Mismagius to bed. Now this last part of the fight, I'll admit, is pretty boring, so I'll speed through it. Basically, the Mismagius spams Confuse Ray and Hex while I spam Yawn and Poison Jab with the occasional Recover in between. But after a long, hard-fought battle, Choco finally beats the Mismagius and we win our third gym badge. The fourth gym leader we battle is Kofu, and the Pokemon I chose was Sarina. Due to it having Rapid Spin to boost its speed and Power Whip for massive damage, Sarina was a perfect fit for this battle. Kofu sends out Veluza first. Afia outspeeds and goes for a Rapid Spin to guarantee that we can outspeed his Wood Trio. Veluza uses a super effective Pluck that takes away about a third of my health. The next turn, a Miracle Seed boosted Power Whip is more than enough to take it out. The old man sends out Wood Trio next, and since I know this Pokemon has the defense stat of a piece of paper, I just go for a 100% accurate Trop Kick that one-shots him. I unintentionally activate Wugtrio's Gooey ability, which drops my speed back to normal, but since his last Pokemon has a very low speed stat anyway, I'm not concerned. Outlast is his Terra Water Crabominable. Afia tries a Power Whip, but it misses it, then Crabominable hits her with the Slam, and thanks to Sandstorm damage, Afia is now at 2 HP. He tries another Power Whip, and this time it actually hits and destroys the Abominable Snow Crab, so we win our 4th gym badge. While I was looking for berries to help me out in the next gym battle, I came across the Horde of Wild Hoppip, and yeah. I won't be using this anytime soon, but you can definitely expect to see this later in the video. My next gym battle is with Larry, and the Pokemon I chose for this fight was Hariyama. There's no specific reason that I chose this Pokemon, I just wanted a fighting type that can use Bulk Up and Drain Punch, and Hariyama was the first Pokemon that came to mind. Larry sends out Komala first. It outspeeds and uses Yawn while I use Bulk Up to boost my attack and defense. Komala uses Yawn again, and for some reason I go for another Bulk Up. Sumo falls asleep, but thanks to the Lumberry I found in a Terra raid, he wakes up instantly. Komala uses Yawn a 3rd time and Sumo one-taps it with Drain Punch. Glary's next Pokemon is a Dunsparce and it uses Glare to paralyze Sumo. I was thinking that Sumo was about to go to sleep again due to yawn, so I used Bulk Up again mainly for the defense boost. The Dunsparce uses Hyper Drill, which does more than I thought it would. Then Sumo uses Drain Punch, which knocks out the Dunsparce in one hit, healing himself in the process. Last but not least is his Terra Normal Staraptor. It goes for Aerial Ace, which does mediocre damage, while Sumo uses Drain Punch, which puts the bird down in one shot, which gets us our 5th badge. Rhyme is who we fight next, and as we all know, this is a double battle. So since I had to use another Pokemon, I just caught a level 4 Lechonk and used that. I wanted to use Electrode and have it use Quick Claw Explosion while my other Pokemon uses Protect, but for some reason her Banette would always Sucker Punch the Electrode before he could go boom. So Lechonk was the best idea I had. Rhyme sends out Mimikyu and Banette while I send out Lechonk and Arcanine. I used Arcanine because it has Recovery and Morning Sun and Stat Boost and Howl, not to mention Crunch for super effective damage. Mimikyu goes first and knocks out the bait with a Slash. Shocker. Myron uses Charm on Banette. Banette uses Icy Wind on Myron. It takes him a while, but Myron gets the Banette and Mimikyu to -5 attack. He then proceeds to use Howl and get the +5 attack. After all the setting is finally done, Myron kills the Mimikyu with 2 crunches. Rhyme sends out Houndstone and it uses Phantom Force while Myron uses Morning Sun to get health back. Houndstone hits Phantom Force while the Banette hits another Icy Wind. Myron knocks out the Houndstone with Crunch. Her last Pokemon she sends out is Terra Ghost Toxtricity. Banette uses Shadow Sneak while Toxtricity uses Discharge that almost knocks out our good boy. He uses Morning Sun to get back into green health. Thanks to the cheers of everyone in the stands, Rhyme's last 2 Pokemon both proceed to get an Omni Boost. I'm not worried, you're worried. Toxtricity uses Discharge again and Banette uses Icy Wind. Myron one-shots the Toxtricity with Crunch, leaving just Banette remaining. Banette proceeds to throw the game entirely by using Icy Wind instead of Shadow Sneak, so Myron barely lives the attack and puts it to rest with one last Crunch, winning us badge 6 by some miracle. Myron is definitely the GOAT of this run for winning this 1v5. Now we fight Gym Leader Tulip and my one Pokemon was Scizor. I chose Scizor because he resists most of the moves on Tulip's team and has Technician boosted Bullet Punch for priority. These first 3 turns I just use Swords Dance while the Farigiraf uses Crunch 3 times. Since this giraffe has Armor Tail as its ability, I use X-Scissor to knock it out in one hit. Espathra comes out next and it just gets one-tapped by Bullet Punch. Same for Gardevoir, and even the Terra Psychic Florist. Victory is ours and so is the 7th gym badge. Now we're on the final gym where we fight Grusha. His team has just enough coverage to deal super effective damage to every type Ice is weak to. They also have multiple ways of using priority in Aqua Jet and Ice Shard. When you top it all off with the Beartic and Titan having abilities that make them harder to kill, this gym could be very hard for most Pokemon to solo. Which is where our starter comes in, Skeledirge. With a Flame Charge to boost speed and Torch Song to boost special attack, Skeledirge is the perfect mon for the job. Grusha sends out Frostmoth first, but it gets outsped in one shot by Flame Charge that boosts my speed. He sends out Beartic next and barely survives a Torch Song. Snap gets a special attack boost from Torch Song and thanks to the Throat Spray he had equipped, he gets another special attack boost. The Beartic strikes back with Earthquake that takes a little over half of Snap's health. Snap finishes it off with another Torch Song. The Titan drops onto the field but it gets outsped in one shot by Torch Song. Last out is Terra Ice Altaria and the same thing happens to it too. Now we got all 8 gym badges, so now you know what that means. On to the Pokemon League. We of course start off with Eureka, and remember the shiny I found? It's go time. We won't believe this, but Jumpluff can actually learn Swords Dance for some reason, so we turn 1 SD while her Elite Wishcash uses Blizzard but whiffs. I use this opportunity to get another Swords Dance off and the Wishcash actually hits Blizzard this time. Luckily thanks to Focus Sash, Swab lives on 1 HP. He then one-taps the Wishcash with Bullet Seed. Rika sends out Camera up next but Swab deletes his health bar with Acrobatics. Donphan comes out and this is the reason I'm running Bullet Seed instead of Seed Bomb. We use Bullet Seed to bypass Donphan's Sturdy and technically take it out in 2 hits. Rika sends out Duck Trio next. Not knowing whether it's going for Sucker Punch or Rock Slide makes me play as safe as I can and use Synthesis. Turns out it went for Rock Slide, but it misses so we can safely knock it out the next turn with Bullet Seed. Her last Pokemon is Terra Ground Clodsire. It goes for Protect to block my Bullet Seed and tries it again the next turn, but Protect fails so Cotton Swap takes it out with Bullet Seed, granting us victory. Jumpluff is without a doubt one of my favorite flying types and I'm so glad I got to use a shiny one in this challenge. This actually took multiple attempts, words cannot describe how joyful I was when I finally pulled this off. Now we fight the child of the Elite Four, Poppy, and you know what Pokemon you can get starting at level 59? Volcarona. She sends out Copperajah first. We go for Quiver Dance and then they use high horsepower for decent damage, unintentionally activating Flame Body and getting burned in the process. Rising Sun uses Quiver Dance again and Copperajah uses Stealth Rock, which is kinda pointless because I never planned on swapping out anyways. I get up one last quiver dance while Kaparaja uses another high horsepower. I finally decide to do some actual damage and one-shot Kaparaja with a fiery dance. Corviknight comes out next and it gets one-shot too. Same for her Bronzong. Her Magnezone would have got one-shot too, but thanks to Sturdy, it lives and goes for a pointless light screen. We finish it off with another fiery dance and one-tap her Terra Steel Tinkaton. We win. Next we have to fight Larry again, and the Pokemon I chose was Frostmoth. Do you remember how I just used Quiver Dance 3 times and spammed a super effective move against the entire enemy team?
Oh, fucking do it again! Okay.
The last Elite Four member we fight is Hassel, and the one Pokemon I used was Baxcalibur. I wish I could say this battle was difficult, but it was incredibly easy. He starts off with Noivern and uses Super Fang, which always does half your health if you're at full HP. Drax uses Dragon Dance one time and outspeed one-shots Hassel's entire team, even his own Baxcalibur. This is easily one of the Dragon Dancers of all time. Now that we've faded the Elite Four, we have to face the top champion herself, La Primera. La Primera? I don't really know how to pronounce that. It took hours of brainstorming and calculations, but I finally managed to conjure up a decent strategy. Gita sends out Espathra and I send out my one Pokemon, Zoroark. We outspeed and use Nasty Plot, which the Espathra copies with its ability, and the Espathra uses Dazzling Gleam. But thanks to the Roselli berry that I had equipped, it only does over half. Illusionist then one-shots the Espathra with Night Daze. Gita sends out Gogoat next, but it gets OHKO'd by a flamethrower. So does her Avalugg and her King Gambit. She sends out Veluza, but super effective Night Daze knocks it out. Last out is the ace in the hole Terra Rock Glimmora, who just gets one shot by a Focus Blast. You would think a battle with the top champion would last more than 7 turns, but I guess not. Now we have reached the final hurdle of this run. When I started this challenge, I only feared 2 things: the double battle with Rhyme and Nemona. Her well-diverse team is stacked with well-diverse movesets, and after half an hour of planning, I finally figured out that the Pokemon I would finish this run with was Hawlucha. The combination of Unburden and Swords Dance is nasty, and Hawlucha is living proof of that. Nemona leads with Lycanroc, but Jackson outspeeds it and uses Swords Dance. The Lycanroc hits his heart with Stab Stone Edge. I get up another Swords Dance, then the Lycanroc hits another Stone Edge that leaves Jackson in red health. Thanks to his Citrus Berry though, his health goes back up to over 33%. He then one-taps the Lycanroc with a high jump kick. Hallmod is out next, but it gets one shot by Acrobatics. Same for Nemona's Goodra. The Dunsparce comes out next, but it dies to HJK. Her Earthworm suffers the same fate. Last out is her Terragrass Meowscarada, but it gets one shot by Acrobatics. And just like that, the run is over. Funny how this challenge started with the Fighting Flying type and ended with the Fighting Flying type. Barring a couple battles, this was actually pretty fun. I got the excuse to use some Pokemon I've never used before. Speaking of which, these are all the Pokemon that I used for this entire run. Get out of here, Mantine, you're not even in the game. I'm trying to think of new and interesting ideas for Pokemon playthroughs that isn't just use only one type or beat the entire game using the same one Pokemon. So if you think of any good ideas, then please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more Pokemon content like this, then hit that subscribe button. That's all for now, so I'll see you guys later. This is Jay signing off. Don't forget to eat your vegetables.